Welcome to Fail Factory. I'm your host, Slow Rogan.
That's it, I'm done. I'm done with this woodworking crap.
We're at the end of another year, and for most of us, 2025 had its fair share of wins. And if you're anything like me, a whole lot of fails. I can't even build a paper towel holder. So in today's video, we're looking back at my biggest woodworking mistakes of the year. So grab a seat, relax, and let's laugh at my pain. My first build video of 2025, I got a brand new table saw and I built some awesome jigs for it. But I made so many mistakes during this build that I almost quit woodworking. The first jig I built was a miter sled, and I had to rebuild the front fence not once, but twice because I cut it crooked.
This is the fence I cut off of there that I was gonna cut down. I don't even have one good side. You see how bad this cut is? Look at that. There's my normal swoop I always do with that stupid thing. And then on this side, look at this. This looks like someone grew up under high power lines in a lead-filled house next to a toxic waste dump cut this.
So it was the end of the day and I glued and clamped my fence together and I let it dry overnight. But it turned out I jascoed the whole thing. All right, I messed up on my fence and I'm not happy with it, so I'm gonna rebuild it. You guys are not gonna believe this. If you look at the top of the T-track, you see there's no plywood showing behind it, but as you get down to the end, you see how there's plywood showing behind it? When I cut the front part of my fence, I forgot to lock in my blade. And if you don't lock this in, it'll just move. And it just moved just enough. And I noticed it move, but I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. But now when I put this thing on here, so it just barely touches the ground. So when you slide it to this end where it gets smaller, it starts rubbing on the ground. What do you think? Would you guys live with that? I can't do it. Then I couldn't get my miter rails to stick to the base. I have the fence clamped so I could push this against the fence and then drop it on there so it's nice and square. So now I should be able to flip this over. Oh, it didn't even stick to them. One side stuck, the other side didn't. Let's try that again. The instructions said to use CA glue, so this should be working. Maybe I don't weigh enough. Maybe I'm not heavy enough, you know?
What?
Okay, now let's try. This is not working. Look, see how it says UCA glue right in the instructions? On the HDPE bars. See that? CA glue. Doesn't hold though. Not at all. Okay, that mistake you can blame on the instructions, but this right here, this is pure idiocracy. I don't know why it looks like I'm taking a mean dump right here, but I'm not. But I was really excited about this next part. A lot of the videos that I watched, and I watched a lot of them, at this point in the project is where you raise your table saw blade up through your sled, and it is so satisfying. But every time I cranked mine, all it did was lift the sled up and the blade was not coming through. And I finally realized it's because my riving knife is on, so it's not going to come through this board. Then I drilled the track wrong. So now I'm going to install the T-track. The first hole I drilled, I don't know if you can see that, it went off center just a little bit, but it was enough to push the track away from the lip. So I'm gonna clamp it down. And then I got this self-centering drill bit. I don't know if you can see that, it's like tapered on the end and it's a spring. It's made for hinges or this kind of application. The tapered part fits into the, I can't even talk now, hold on. So the next jig I built was this joiner jig / taper jig. And after making so many mistakes this day, the ones I did on this jig almost made me quit woodworking. The first mistake I made was when I was routing out the groove for the T-track. I jascoed the crap out of this. Look at that. I tried to take too much at once, and it just got out of my hand. I did this whole fence and everything, thinking, I'll do a better groove. I got this nice fence on here now. And instead I did this. What an idiot. But this is the one that led to the straw that broke the buffalo's back. Okay, not that bit thing. This.
That's it, I'm done. I'm done with this woodworking crap.
Well, I did a good year on YouTube, right? That's pretty good. You guys see what I did? You're gonna laugh. Probably unsubscribe, but you're gonna laugh. And I'm gonna be demoted. I can't be called a woodworker anymore. What am I? Wood toucher. Well, I should have thought that one through. Guy with a garage. How about that? Guy with some tools. Right? Let me show you what I did. All right, it's not too bad. I can live with that. It's just a shop jig. I mean, it's still functional. I screwed it to my bench. I should have checked the size of the screws that I was putting in. It's screwed to my bench right now. Well, thanks for coming to my channel. This has been a good year. I appreciate it. Well, that's it. I finally quit YouTube. This ain't so bad, hanging out with my dogs, eating Pop-Tarts. I don't think there's anything that can get me back into woodworking again.
Are you sitting on my couch in your dusty clothes?
You guys still here? My wife was like, if you're quitting woodworking, you can help me out around the house. I was like, I ain't no quitter, woman. Now, at the end of the day, both of these jigs came out good. I've been using them all year with no problems. Now, you might think to yourself, this has got to be his most mistake-packed video. Who in their right mind would keep making YouTube videos if they made this many mistakes? Well, I'm not in my right mind, and this is not my worst video. That one's coming up a little later. My next two videos weren't so bad. I made this jewelry holder for my daughter.
Made for me?
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, you're recording me?
Then I made this planter bench, and I had only one mistake on the whole project. I hung it upside down. Dang it, I almost made it through this whole project. Okay, I guess it wasn't a huge mistake, but I still messed up. And I don't know if this counts as a mistake, but I also got rejected by my wife. Hey, hot stuff, want to see my wood? Hey! Who could reject such a suave line? I think one of the reasons this project came out so good is because I had some guidance from the spirits of woodworking. Now that I got all my parts figured out, it's time to cut it all up. Be sure to measure twice, cut once, oh fat woodworker. The next build I did was this plant stand. And other than dropping tools constantly, if not, it doesn't hurt if one's shy a few inches. That's what I tell my wife anyways. I only made one other big mistake when I was building the birdhouse. Now I'm putting a bunch of nails in the bottom to keep the stupid birds out of this thing. I'm just kidding, I love birds. Especially chickens. And then to top it off, pun intended, I glued and nailed the roof on. I just realized I cut the roof too short. You see that little gap in there? I didn't notice it till I got low enough to see it. I'm just gonna tell the birds those are eaves. They're for ventilation. They don't know any better. What are they gonna do? Call OSHA? In my fifth video of 2025, I made this Barbie holder that you can hang on your wall. And I tried to use this dowel jig to assemble it, but this dowel jig always kicks my butt. Oh no, you idiot. Oh, you idiot. I just drilled another hole through my board. I cannot use dowels. I am too stupid for dowels. I also made some cool crayon holders out of scrap wood. These didn't come out too bad except for one thing. Well, what do you think? I can already tell you, I messed up on my drilling pattern. They were way too close and I didn't go deep enough. But hey, it's for kids. You ever see the crap they draw and they want you to hang it on the fridge? They'll live with it. But it was okay because I ended up making another one with a better hole spacing, and this one had some unique features. This one I spaced out a little bit better. What I like about the alligator is you could put a crayon in the mouth. If you got a kid that smokes, or I don't know, what do they do, vape nowadays? They can put their cigarette in the mouth while they're coloring. That way you don't get smoke in your eye. So this one's a little bit more versatile. I had another toy concept I was working on, but my wife shut it down. Pour some sugar on me. When you need my love, pour some sugar on me. The next project I did was this floating nightstand. And while I didn't have any major mistakes while building this one, I did have some win moments thanks to my jigs I had made in the earlier videos. All right, guys, moment of truth. Let's see if my jig worked. Let's see how these come together. Ready? Bam! Look at that! I'm like a real wannabe amateur woodworker's slow assistant. I can't believe it. Look at that! Then I repeated that whole process again for the bottom shelf. Let's see if I'm 2 for 2 on these boards. Maybe these will go together just as good. You ready? Yes! I'm a real woodworker! I'm a real woodworker! Like, kinda, but slower. But the project wasn't all puppies and rainbows. I did this too. Some complete idiot took my drawer guides out of the package and left them just sitting in the workshop to get sawdust all in them while he was cutting all kinds of crap in here. What an idiot this guy is. I don't want to mention any names and throw him under the bus, but he's an idiot. But wait, there's more. If anybody can see what I'm doing wrong here, I will give you $1,000,000 Jasco bucks. Just look at what I'm doing here.
And tell me what's wrong with this picture. I'm going to lose my woodworker's card over this one. I sped the tape up 4 times, but you can see how long it's taken me to realize what I did wrong. And then all of a sudden it hits me.
I put glue on the wrong ends. I should have put it on these ends, and I put it on this end. But I'm wondering why I'm getting glue all over my hands as I put it together. Oh my gosh, dude. So what was dumber, that or this? Look at here, look at here. Yeah, this isn't meant to support the weight of everything. It's going to be hung to the wall through the back. Look how quick I am, like a cat. Wow, wow.
Is he out of his whole damn mind?
This project came with a bonus build that no one really appreciated. Another good thing about this project is with the scrap wood, you can make karate sticks. Come on, Joe Rogan, come on. Sorry if I scared anybody with that.
You guys also got to learn about my secret snack drawer that I have next to my bed.
Look at the top of this thing. Looks like somebody was using it as a cutting board. So I just keep a book up here, my charger. I got my medications over here. And then in the drawers, all I do is I keep a couple snacks in this one. In case I get hungry in the middle of the night, I like to pick at some chicken. Oh, maybe that's what that cutting marks are from. Anyways, and then in this drawer, I just have some clothes.
My next video was a Mother's Day video, and I made this corner shelf for my wife. I tried my luck with another dowel jig, a different one this time, and this one just proved the rule. I am just too stupid for dowel jigs.
Okay, now it's time to check it and see how I did. Oh, it looks like this side I'm off. Can you see that?
And the other side wasn't any better.
One of them I didn't drill deep enough. So again, I'm off. You see the lip? Always on this one side for some reason. I don't know what I did.
And that's not it. My 45 wasn't any better. I don't know how I got this project done, to be honest with you.
All right, let's see how good it did. Quabam! I quabammed too soon. All right, you can see I'm off a little bit. See how much my lines are off? So, not a big deal. I'm just gonna sand the back of that down once I get it glued together. You really can't tell anything. I just won't let anybody stand close to it. I'll have like a 5-foot rule.
Holy mackerel, look how crooked I'm drilling this thing. I've seen tweaker teeth straighter than this. I also made these super simple wall sconces in the same video, and I still managed to have problems. In woodworking, 1 minute you're admiring your work, and the next minute...
Oh, what the...
Yeah, that really happened. It's not tight enough.
All right, I found out the hard way that these straps have to be pulled out a little bit. It looks like, you'd think it couldn't be pulled out, but look at this.
Then my wife got mad at me for what I did in her bathroom. And you can wash your brushes right in the sink. It cleans up very easy.
Are you washing your brush in my sink again?
No, I'm washing my hands.
You better not make a mess in my bathroom.
For my next project, I tried my hand at some woodworking art.
I call it cacti from the fat guy.
In a lot of ways, this whole project was sort of a fail. Not because I made a lot of mistakes, which I did. Idiot move coming in 1, 2, 3.
Oh, shit.
It was a fail because this project was sort of a dud. Nobody really liked it, and a lot of people said it looked like Galactus, which is hilarious because it really does look like Galactus. Then I made it worse by putting these flowers on there. Even my wife, who usually likes everything I make, said she was going to take it to work and hang it up, and it's still sitting in my garage. But that's all right because it's not a failure if you learn something from it, and I learned a lot from this project.
That's what losers always say.
My next video was a couple of Father's Day projects, one of them being this boot jack right here. This build is perfect for any dad that wears boots or just is fat like me and has a hard time getting your shoes off. Then I made this hat/key holder that I think came out really good. So because it looks like I cut this in the back of a getaway car, I'm using some sandpaper to sand out the humps in it. Other than a little bit of sanding, both these projects came out with minimal mistakes, and I was pretty happy with them. But that good luck streak was soon to run out because my next video, which was supposed to be a simple cleat wall tool video, was so full of mistakes. I made a mistake on almost everything I built. It was my most mistake-filled video I've ever made. From cutting through one of the feet on my grabber to cutting the hole too small from my saw. And it works. They're in there pretty tight. Got 2 of them in there. Oh.
I made 10 cleat holders and almost made a mistake on every single one of them. I made so many mistakes, I decided to call my mom and ask her if something happened to me when I was a kid.
Hey Mom, it's me. No, I just had a few questions about when I was a kid. When I was little, did we live by any high power lines? What about lead paint? Did we have a lot of lead paint in the house? Did you ever see me eating it? Like eating lead paint chips? You know I love chips.
In my next video, I made these 2 watch boxes, / jewelry boxes or engagement box. The boxes themselves were not that hard to make. What was hard was working with these little hinges for one, and the thin material that I was using. But the hardest part was trying to cut the glass. I've only cut glass maybe a handful of times in my life, if that many. And I broke a lot of glass trying to get it right. And a lot of this glass was from my wife's picture frames.
Where'd all the glass go in my picture frames?
I don't know. What would I do with your picture frames? I make stuff out of wood, not glass.
But I did know what happened to the glass. After building those little tiny watch boxes, I wanted to build something a little bit bigger, and this console table was perfect. And on this one, I didn't make too many mistakes. That's until I got to the glue up. Glue ups are usually fast-paced and a little stressful, but this one actually wasn't that bad. I was putting on my last corner clamp thinking, man, that was an easy glue up. I didn't Jasco that up at all. It was even perfectly square. You can't ask for a better glue up. Until I realized something. Do you see anything missing from this video? I forgot to put the freaking back panel in. So now I gotta get this thing apart, get the back panel in and it all back together before the glue dries. I haven't moved this fast since my ice cream was melting in the summer heat. And then my wife calls on top of it all.
Hey.
Then I got all cocky with the edge banding. The edge banding was like, oh, you think you're all that? Time to tango, Tubby. Now you want to make sure you cut your ends straight or you'll have gaps like this. I normally use my speed square and a razor blade to cut them square. Ta-da! Now if you were wowed by any of that edge banding technique, let me show you why Woodworkers Guild of America suspended my license. The piece that I'm putting on right now, it didn't overhang the edge, it butted up against the edge like I was just showing you. Now as I'm sliding the iron over top of this, it's actually pulling it away from the edge right now and I don't notice it. Then when I do notice it, now I'm trying to use the iron to pull the edge banding back and close the gap up. But that didn't work, so now I'm trying to heat up the whole strip again so it melts all the glue and I can get it to push back. Now let me tell you one thing about my wife. I love her, but she calls with the worst timing.
Dude, you call every time I'm having a crisis.
After this, it was Halloween, and we were entering the most lucrative time for a woodworker, the holiday season. Call me a sissy, but I don't trust putting a real candle in this kindling. Ooh, almost did a DIY vasectomy. Besides that, the biggest problem I had with this project was my glue bottle.
I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of the top. Then I'm going to put a little CA glue on the bottom here, just on the ends. Oh my bottle's plugged. The wood glue's almost dry. Just in the time it took me to unplug this with a tack, my wood glue dried. So I got to add a little bit more. Now I'm going to put a little CA glue. Gosh, it's still plugged. Son of a... I had to scrape off all the dried glue on here. 3rd time's a charm. Move to the desert, it's dry heat.
If this CA glue doesn't work this time, I'm turning this to a fitness channel.
Okay, now I'm going to put a little CA glue on the ends.
My next video was this fall wagon, which turned out to be my least watched video on my channel. But I had fun trying to figure out how to make all these wagon wheels, so it wasn't a total loss.
Things losers say.
Then after that, it was Christmas time, and I was able to get 2 Christmas videos done this year. The first was this Christmas house made out of pickets, and the other video was this Christmas church, also made out of pickets, just a little bit more involved in the house. Now, believe it or not, I didn't make a lot of mistakes on these because they were pretty easy projects, but I did make a few.
I just realized my front door, you're supposed to see light pass through it. I was supposed to cut a hole in the back there so that light could pass through the front door. Now I got to drill a hole in the bottom of it. I was gonna drill a hole with the Forstner bit, but because I have all those nails in the bottom going into the board, I decided to use my Dremel and try to cut them out. Now in between those two Christmas videos, I did my top 10 tools for under $20 video. Then I finished off the year with my lighted cross video, and I can't think of one mistake I made during this video. So thank you, Jesus.
If there's one thing I hope you guys take away from this video, it's that mistakes are just a part of the woodworking process. If you're building things and you're pushing yourself at all, you're gonna mess up. And that's okay, as long as you're being safe. That's why I leave my mistakes in my videos, because that's the real process, and that's really how we learn. The goal isn't to never make mistakes, it's to get better at fixing them, as long as you're working safely and you don't get injured or lose any digits. Thank you guys for being here this year. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the shop in 2026. Now, let's get to building.